Volvo's XC60 from 2014 to 2017 is considered a part of the first-generation facelift. The cars of this era sit right in that sweet spot. Still got that old-school Volvo feel, but with enough modern features to make you feel fancy. Trouble is, it ain't bulletproof. Let's pop the hood and check what you're really buying into. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. The Volvo XC60 from 2014 to 2017. A solid machine, but like any vehicle, it has its fair share of engine quirks. Volvo offered a few different power plants during these years, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The 3.2L inline-six is a naturally aspirated workhorse. It's generally reliable, but as the miles pile up, oil leaks from the valve cover and crank seal become common. This engine also tends to burn a bit of oil as it ages, so keeping an eye on oil levels is crucial. While it lacks the punch of the turbocharged options, it's a simpler design with fewer components that can fail. The T6 3.0L turbocharged inline-six brings more power to the table, but with that comes additional complexity and potential trouble. Turbo oil leaks are a known issue, and the PCV system can act up, leading to excessive crankcase pressure and oil consumption. Around the 100,000-mile mark, timing gear wear can become a concern, especially if maintenance has been neglected. Regular oil changes and proper care can help extend its lifespan, but this engine demands attention. Starting in 2015, Volvo introduced the 2.0-liter Drive-E four-cylinder engines, available in both turbocharged and Turbo Plus supercharged configurations. These engines offer better efficiency, but early models had their share of problems. Coolant leaks were reported, often due to weak seals or failing water pumps. Some owners experienced rough idling, which could stem from fuel system issues or carbon buildup. The timing chain is another weak point. If oil changes were skipped or delayed, chain stretch could lead to serious engine trouble. Regardless of the engine choice, one thing is clear. These power plants don't tolerate neglect. Skipping oil changes or ignoring small leaks can lead to expensive repairs down the road. A well-maintained XC60 can be a dependable ride, but if you let things slide, it'll remind you with a hefty repair bill. Volvo transmissions. Solid engineering, but only if they're treated right. The XC60 from 2014 to 2017 came with two main gearbox options. The ACEN 6-speed automatic, which was the most common, and the newer 8-speed found in Drive-E models starting in 2015. The 6-speed ACEN is a dependable unit when properly maintained, but if the transmission fluid was never changed, problems start creeping in around the 100,000-mile mark. Hard shifts, delayed engagement, and even slipping can occur, making for a frustrating driving experience. Regular fluid changes are key to keeping this transmission running smoothly. The 8-speed automatic in the Drive-E models offers a more refined shifting experience, but it's also more sensitive to fluid quality. If the fluid gets dirty or isn't changed on time, valve body issues can develop, leading to jerky shifts and inconsistent performance. This transmission benefits greatly from proactive maintenance. The biggest misconception with these gearboxes is Volvo's claim of lifetime fluid. That's marketing nonsense. Transmission fluid breaks down over time, losing its ability to properly lubricate and cool the system. Ignoring fluid changes can lead to costly repairs, so flushing it every 50,000 to 60,000 miles is the best way to avoid major headaches down the road. The facelifted first generation of Volvo XC60 provides a comfortable ride, but not quite the indestructible tank of old-school Volvos. The suspension does its job well, but over time, especially in areas with rough roads and harsh winters, it starts showing signs of wear. Front strut mounts are a common weak point. As they age, they develop knocking noises, particularly when driving over uneven surfaces. If left unchecked, they can affect ride quality and handling. Control arm bushings tend to wear out between 70,000 and 90,000 miles. If the steering feels loose or clunky when going over bumps, chances are these bushings have deteriorated. Replacing them restores stability and responsiveness. Rear trailing arm bushings suffer from similar wear. As they degrade, the rear end of the vehicle can feel unsettled, making the ride feel wobbly. This issue is more noticeable on rough roads or when cornering. Wheel bearings aren't immune to wear either. Around the 100,000-mile mark, they can start making humming or grinding noises, signaling the need for replacement. Ignoring them can lead to more serious drivetrain issues. None of these problems are catastrophic, but they do add up over time. Staying ahead of maintenance, replacing worn bushings, checking strut mounts, and addressing wheel bearing issues early keeps the XC60 riding smoothly and prevents costly repairs down the road. Volvo interiors. Comfortable, well-designed, and built with that signature Scandinavian touch. But even the best materials don't last forever, and the XC60 from 2014 to 2017 has its fair share of aging issues. One of the most common complaints is peeling soft-touch buttons, particularly around the center console. Over time, the rubberized coating wears down, leaving an uneven and unsightly surface. It's a cosmetic issue, but one that many owners find frustrating. Door panel trim can also delaminate, especially in areas with high humidity or extreme temperature changes. Once the adhesive weakens, the trim starts separating, making the interior look a bit tired. Power seat motors, while generally reliable, sometimes slow down or stop working altogether. This can be due to worn-out wiring, failing motors, or even issues with the seat control module. If the seat adjustment becomes sluggish, it's worth checking the electrical connections before assuming the motor itself has failed. The sunroof drainage system is another weak spot. If the drains clog, water can leak down the A-pillar, leading to damp carpets and potential electrical issues. Clearing out the drains once a year helps prevent this problem, but if water has already made its way inside, drying out the affected areas quickly is crucial. Despite these minor annoyances, Volvo seats remain some of the best in the business. The Sport and R-Design seats in particular offer excellent support and comfort, making long drives a pleasure. The XC60 from 2014 to 2017 packs plenty of tech, but like any modern vehicle, it has its quirks. The infotainment system can be temperamental. Owners have reported freezing screens, delayed responses from the backup camera, and Bluetooth connectivity issues. Sometimes a software update helps, but other times, a full system reset is needed to get things back in order. The power tailgate has a mind of its own on occasion. Some owners have found it refusing to open, while others have experienced the opposite, randomly opening on its own. This can be traced to faulty sensors or a failing tailgate control module. Airbag warning lights can pop up unexpectedly. Sometimes it's due to a bad seat sensor, but other times it's just a software glitch that needs a reset. It's always worth checking to ensure the airbags are functioning properly, as safety should never be ignored. Keyless entry and start can get unreliable over time. If the system starts acting up, it's often due to worn-out door handle sensors or a module that needs updating. Replacing the affected components usually restores functionality. Volvo did have a few recalls on these XC60s. Seatbelt anchors. Some 2016 to 2017 models had faulty bolts. Airbags. Takata. A handful of models were affected depending on trim and build date. Coolant leak risk on certain 2.0-liter Drive-E engines. Fuel pump software. Update needed to prevent stalling. Before buying, run the VIN through NHTSA's website or ask your local Volvo dealer if everything's been sorted. Volvo XC60. One of those crossovers that blends safety, comfort, and a premium feel into a package that still holds its own years later. If you're after a vehicle that won't let you down in a crash and still feels special behind the wheel, it's got plenty to offer. But don't mistake it for a low-maintenance ride. This isn't a Toyota. It demands attention, and parts aren't exactly cheap. If you're considering one, avoid neglected examples at all costs. A full-service history is a must, especially for oil changes, transmission service, and timing work on the Drive-E engines. These power plants don't tolerate missed maintenance, and skipping key services can lead to expensive headaches. A pre-purchase inspection is non-negotiable. It's the best way to catch hidden issues before they become your problem. If you stay ahead of maintenance and treat it right, the XC60 will reward you with a solid, comfortable ride.